We're the Plotaholics, a breakfast club of two. We're the Plotaholics, ripping plots apart for you. Oh man, hey everybody, welcome to a
special edition
a special edition of the Plotaholics Live. I am as always Shane Wilson, and I'm joined as always by Brian Tan, the Quarantine.
I am the quarantine today. Yeah.
Brian has experienced a bit of a day today.
Yeah,
Do you want to talk a little bit about that, or
yeah, sure.
Done talking about it?
Oh no, man, it's cool. It's not a big deal. So as I'm sure I've said multiple times before on the show, Sharon works with kids. She works for a daycare in a church. So obviously she's always around little kids. Well, because of the COVID-19 virus, the church in and of itself and the center was originally to be closed for 2 weeks amid the crisis. Well, Sharon received a call from her supervisor today that stated that the center and most likely the church are going to be closed indefinitely, in part due because the pastor of the church has COVID-19.
Well, and that is obviously pretty troubling. So, yeah, but you guys have been in touch with medical professionals, and they have told you that you're probably in pretty good shape. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: we met with him 2 weeks ago today, March 3rd,
right,
for our couples counseling. Which, if you're getting married, you have to go through it with the minister. If you're going to get married in the church. So we don't know when he contracted the virus. We don't really, all we found out today was that he's got it and Sharon's immediate boss has it. So she's, well, not has it, but she's in quarantine because she spent close proximity with him. Well, our interactions with him, I mean, we weren't, hugging it up, broing it at, and, none of that.
Yeah.
We were sitting in his office talking and, whatever. So we were in proximity and there's a chance we could have been exposed. Now, neither one of us are displaying symptoms at this time.
Yeah. And this was 2 weeks ago, which is the incubation period. So you guys are probably okay, but there's still some concern that maybe you were carriers.
Right. Exactly. So I had a virtual doctor's appointment today. I scheduled it as soon as Sharon got off the phone, explained to me what she heard. I got on and got myself a virtual call, talked to the medical professional, and she said, well, I think that you and your fiance both need to maintain the quarantine for the 2-week time period. And I will pass on your information to the health department, give them your phone number, give them everything that you told me. They will then determine that if you and your fiance need to go in to get tested. Right. So as it stands right now, we are in a quarantine aspect just for precautions. Neither one of us are hacking up lungs. We're not symptomatic. We are not in that type of danger at all. We are literally just doing this as a precaution.
Yes. Now, over the course of the next hour, Brian, if you start to cough, there you go. Say, hey, you might want to spray that mic down too.
Oh, right. There. Sonic.
So it's been a little while. So so it's cool to be back. It sucks, it really man, that we're sort of in this kind of situation. It's something that I've been thinking a lot about this, Brian, that this feels to me like 9/11 felt to me, but for longer, and like the build has been a gradual sort of build of dread.
Yeah, what's crazy is it's funny that you compare it to 9/11 because that really is the last time that anything of this magnitude has happened where we've sort of shut down. Right. And you're not wrong. That's a really good comparison by you. And it's crazy because we're also getting these ridiculous conspiracy theories.
And the one thing that 9/11 didn't have was the prevalence of social media.
Right.
And now, and well, it has just because we didn't have social media when it happened doesn't mean that it was immune from conspiracy theories.
Right. And I mean, we're still dealing with it now to this day. You know,
so
now, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that the Illuminati was not involved in it? Now, wait a minute.
So there's a ton of bad information out there. We at the Plotaholics urge you to get all of your information from the World Health Organization and from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Absolutely.
And
your cousin Rod, who may or may not be a nurse, is not a credible source. Your buddy, your bookie, or that kid that bags your groceries, or your any in-law here, whatever, they are not credible unless they are a medical doctor and their actual degree is, I mean, their everything is in not just medicine but communicable diseases and so forth. Leave it alone. It is not credible information. World Health Organization, CDC, leave it at that.
Yeah, and your local health department offices can give you more like sort of localized information, but make sure that you're getting your information from good places and not, like Alex Jones. Listen to the white coats, right? Listen to the white coats.
Yeah. And the guy, that weird guy with the tinfoil hat on that screams conspiracy theory, he's not a credible source.
Yeah, Joe is checking in from the West Coast.
Third Plotaholic himself, Joe Compton, is on lockdown until April the 7th.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, Joe, I'm glad that you're here.
I'm not worried for Joe though. His hat can protect him from anything.
That is something that I heard on Fox News, was that if you had good hats, they would protect you from the coronavirus.
Yeah, but it's got to be a good hat. If it's a Cleveland Browns hat, you're probably going to get space AIDS.
Right. It's going to do a little better today than it would have done 5 days ago, but it's still not great.
No, not at all.
Now, and I know that we are not sports people, but I feel like we have to talk about the big sports story of the day, right?
Tom Brady,
which is Tom Brady.
Yeah. Did you happen to see that video meme from I'm not sure what the movie is because I haven't seen it yet, but it's Jeremy Renner and Ben Affleck, and Tom Brady is like, they have the little caption, Tom Brady for Ben Affleck and Julian Edelman for Jeremy Renner, and it's like, this is Jeremy Renner's Julian Edelman when Tom Brady tells him he's not coming back. And it just turns into this whole Boston accent argument going on. It's freaking hilarious.
I have not seen that.
It was tweeted on the Twitter.
It was tweeted on the Twitter. I got you.
Yeah, it was on the Twitter.
So we won't get into too much sports stuff, and we really want to try to keep this iteration of the Plotaholics Live a little bit upbeat. I know that
fun because there's too much crap going on.
Yeah, it's a lot going on out there. And I say all of that, and then I'm gonna pivot. It's gonna be a real hard pivot into our first entertainment story of the day, which is the initially sort of upsetting news that Idris Elba has tested positive for
not Black
COVID.
Superman.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, he's Black Superman.
Yeah, he posted on Twitter yesterday. We'll take a little quick listen to the video that he posted and see what Mr. Elba has to say. Charles Minor, for those of you who are Office fans.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, guys? So look, this morning I got some test results back for coronavirus, and it came back positive. Yeah, and it sucks. Listen, I'm doing okay. Sabrina hasn't been tested, and she's doing okay. I didn't have any symptoms. I got tested because I realized I was exposed to someone who had also tested positive. I found out last Friday that they were tested positive. I quarantined myself and got a test immediately and got the results back today.
So you're sort of like Idris Elba.
Yeah, I am the American Idris Elba.
Yeah, that's sort of what I took away from that. Yeah. But it's encouraging to hear him talk about it, that he's not symptomatic. He is in very good shape, obviously. And I think that that he'll more than likely be fine. It's encouraging always when people that, public figures that we care about and that we feel like we know, like Idris Elba and like Tom Hanks, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's good when they are recovering from home,
right?
And when they communicate with us, which is one good aspect of social media.
Absolutely,
that we get to hear straight from them. So we heard yesterday, I believe, that Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson have been released from the hospital after their quarantine there last week. So they are, that is another encouraging sign that they have now moved into the next phase of their recovery. They're probably still quarantined at home for the next bit.
Well, they're still in Australia, so they're out of the hospital, but they're down under home. Yeah. And I'm telling you the truth. What's crazy, and you're right. It's definitely good that we have these public figures doing that, because the vast majority of the masses, don't care if I'm just another dude. But Idris Elba, Tom Hanks, Rita Wilson, these are upper echelon folks. And I think that it does a good thing to sort of humanize them and let people know, look, anyone can get this thing, and you've got to take the proper steps to make sure that those, nothing's pissed me off more over the last couple of weeks, more than people saying, well, I don't get it, so what, I'm not going to get it, or it's not going to hurt me, so what do I care?
Because you and I both know a lot of people that would be sort of in the target demo for this illness. The elderly, the immunosuppressed, these are people that could really get wrecked by this, and for people to disregard that is disheartening. It's
downright sickening and evil.
Yeah,
what it is. I mean, I get real tired of these people sitting there and they're being so cavalier about it. I mean, you look at Rudy Gobert. I made a joke saying that Rudy Gobert is like the defensive player of the century. He's he's shut down sports that he's not even in.
Yeah, but he was a real dickhole.
He was a major dickhole, and not even a functioning dickhole. He was a narrow dickhole.
Dickhole.
Just being so cavalier about it. And it's ridiculous. Why would you do something like that? You don't know if any of those people, as a matter of fact, I saw a report on YouTube, wrestler Roman Reigns, who's been in the main event scene with the WWF for the last few years. He's at risk because he is a cancer survivor.
Yeah.
He had to step away from the ring for a while to go through chemo and came back. But, his immune system is still compromised from that battle.
Right.
Not, so I mean, you gotta take it seriously, even if it's I'm a healthy 27 years old. I've got an immune system that you can break rocks with. Yeah, but your parents, your grandparents, they aren't.
But it's I think whenever we see these people recover, especially people that are in the public eye so much, they are. It's good to see them recover, because it shows that this isn't a death sentence, right? I think on some level, when they first get it, I know last Monday night when it felt like the world was coming off of its axis and everything was getting canceled, and we first heard that that Tom Hanks had tested positive.
Well, I was freaking out. I said, no, not another Mr. Rogers. No.
Yeah, right. And so when all of that stuff first started, it was really sort of unnerving on some level, but it's nice to see them recovering. And we've got some comments coming in with some other names that have tested positive, and that's the way it's going to go.
Kevin Durant. See, I didn't see that about Kevin Durant and the other Brooklyn Nets. Wow. KD has been hit. Yeah. Shout out to Kelly Russell for that one.
And this is the way that this thing's going to go until it crests,
Oh, yeah. As long as, you know what? Just make sure Betty White and Morgan Freeman are okay.
Put them in a bubble.
Yes. Betty White and Morgan Freeman need to be in bubbles immediately.
Right. So let's see. The big news over the last, the big entertainment news over the last little bit has really been that everything that's in the process of being filmed is being shut down. We don't really want to talk about all of that because we could really get sort of bogged down in the weeds with all of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of your favorite TV shows have halted production. But as long as Supernatural is okay, though, I don't care.
Well, yeah. Well, think about it like this, Mr. Tan. If they have to delay production on Supernatural, then that means you get to hold on to this last season a little longer.
Thank God. That is a good call by you. Well, see, I'm in a weird spot with that because part of me is like, all right, I got to see how this ends. But at the same token, I don't want to lose Supernatural.
Right.
So that makes sense. But even films that have already been finished, that now we're coming to a point where it's released and they have canceled the releases. And that's what's sort of really tweaking my witch's nip.
Yeah, well, let's look at some of the big names here. The first one that postponed its premiere was the new James Bond film, No Time to Die. But since then,
that's an ironic title,
isn't it? Yeah, one of the late night shows the other night said that they should just still release it and just change the name to Time to Die.
Is it a James Bond film or is it a Jason Voorhees film?
Right,
you gotta go and find out.
And then shortly after that, especially in the last week, A Quiet Place Part 2 was delayed. Your favorite film franchise, Fast 9, was delayed. Mulan, and today we heard that they are officially delaying the release of Black Widow from Marvel Studios. So, so I think a blessing in disguise in some ways, because like I still feel like I've got Marvel hangover, and maybe this will give us a little bit more time.
See, I don't get why they're delaying. I mean, all right, so they're not going to release them into theaters,
right?
Okay, so put them on streaming platforms. That's all anyone has to do right now, and you're still going to be making money.
Yeah, well, and we can talk a little bit about that because we've also got this list of films that have either been put on demand early or they've gone straight to a streaming service early. Disney putting Star Wars out on demand a couple of months early. Yeah, today.
Yeah, today. Well, because I believe that it was originally going to be released for video on demand toward the end of the month and physical media in early April, because they all usually do it like 2 weeks apart. Well, now it's available now, and then the physical release is going to be on the 31st. Now, I misunderstood that to take it when I saw that it was going to be on digital, that it would also be streaming on Disney Plus, but that is not the case.
Well, they've still got to make a couple of extra dollars off of that steaming pile of garbage.
You know what, though? I'm actually going to go buy the physical release, though, because I learned a few things.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I got to have the complete Star Wars. I've got to have the complete set.
And Joe chiming in with some Fast 9 opinions.
Well, the thing is, Fast 9 has no physics, no logic whatsoever. Like, absolutely none. For one, I'm really supposed to believe that John Cena and Vin Diesel are related.
And the Fast and the Furious movies are the coronavirus of movies. They spread too fast. They infect everyone you love inexplicably. And it seems to have caused, and they seem to appeal to the brains of the, more conspiratorially minded.
See, I can't say anything because I own all the movies. I have watched the movies. And when I need some mind-numbing fun,
right? Yeah, I mean that's what they're good for.
On. Yeah, that's literally all they're good for. I'm sorry, you really gonna watch the Fast and the Furious for logic and reason and a poignant tale?
I'm gonna send you that link to that Onion video where they interviewed the writer of the Fast and the Furious movies, and he's just like a 4-year-old kid playing with cars.
That is so accurate. I mean, seriously, like, did you watch the trailer?
Yeah. I had to watch it because you wrote an article for Plotaholics.com about it.
I did.
And your article made so little sense that I had to go watch the trailer to see if you were actually writing about something.
Or was I just yelling on paper?
Right. And what I saw was that, the trailer actually didn't make any sense. Your article made more. Yeah, you captured the essence of it. I was reading this thing and I'm like, what is he talking about? And so then I went over to the I was like, that can't be what it is. And then when I went over to the trailer, I was like, oh shit, yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah, you absolutely had that. Was that Friends where it was like, there's no way that can, oh my god, it happened.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm serious. Like, now here's the thing. If they would have cast John Cena as Luke Hobbs, right? Early on in the beginning, and then The Rock ended up being Dominic Toretto's long lost brother, that's actually kind of believable because you could possibly see a bit of resemblance between Vin Diesel and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. They're both biracial individuals. They both have, that caramel complexion, blah, blah. I can see that.
Ethnically ambiguous.
Ethnically ambiguous. Thank you. But there's no way in hell John Cena, they don't even look close to being related. Like, not even a little.
That reminds me of
unless he's adopted.
It reminds me of the episode of The Office where they merge the two branches, and Steve Carell or Michael Scott goes up to Karen, Rashida Jones's character, and he goes, "Oh wow, you're very exotic looking. Was your father a GI?"
Oh, Michael. Oh, Michael. I seriously have to get a coffee mug that says "World's Best Boss."
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I think that the reason that so what you see here is the movies that are releasing early on demand are films mostly that have already completed theatrical runs or they're already in theaters.
Right.
And so what they see is, AMC is being forced to shut down in most states. So
which sucks because I'm a part of their cinema. I'm a part of the Cinemark Club. I have so many credits that I haven't used right now. But to be fair, there's nothing that's been out that I even want to see. Like Invisible Man doesn't really appeal to me. Frozen 2, really? No.
Well, you're not really the target demo for Frozen 2.
No, I'm really not. I'm truly not.
But what is happening here is like they're not going to make any money in theaters with these movies because they're already out, so they might as well put them out on demand. The other group, though, of delays haven't been in theaters yet, and to go ahead and release them on demand would probably lose the studio's money in the long run.
I guess so. Marvel's not going to really lose anything. They're a Disney subsidiary. They'll be fine.
And Black Widow is going to lose money anyway.
Sadly enough, because I'll tell you the truth, man, Black Widow should have come out 3-4 years sooner.
Yeah, easily, for sure. There's no reason why Black Widow shouldn't have come out immediately after the Avengers.
Thank you. You're absolutely correct. And I think that, because here's the thing, and I said this last year when they first talked about having it. I said that because I believe they had said when they first talked about there being like Black Widow's sister or whatever, I even told you in discussions that character is going to end up being the second Black Widow because remember, there were 2 Black Widows in the comics. She's going to end up taking up the mantle of Black Widow to honor Natasha, and she's going to end up being, so that way there's still
but there's really no surprise in that storyline because we all know that Natasha's done.
Yeah, and that's why releasing this movie now is a complete and utter waste of time.
It really is.
What they should have done if they had any sort of brains is that they would have been releasing Spider-Man Far From Home now instead of releasing it last year. Mm-hmm. Because honestly, let's be honest, Spider-Man, we had Infinity War, and then we were like all gung-ho for a year, and then we got Endgame. And we were so like, all right, this is perfect. It's it's a little much, but we're done. And then we get another Marvel movie less than 2 months later. Far From Home could have been releasing now.
That's a really good point. That would have been a way better release schedule for sure.
Kevin Feige knows what he's doing on the production end, but he needs to hire the Plotaholics to deal with his scheduling.
Maybe, but don't you kind of blame Sony for that? Wouldn't Sony be to blame for a release schedule on that?
Oh, everything that's negative about Spider-Man, it's Sony's fault. It's all Sony's fault.
Maybe.
Like seriously, like the dual Spider-Man meme that people are starting to get sick of, that's Sony's fault.
Yeah. All right, so we thought, let me make sure that I've got everything here. Let's take a little break here in the middle and talk about what we're doing on the Plotaholics.
Okay, yeah, because we have to get busy, man. We got to keep you guys entertained.
That's right. We are in the midst of
even if you're not paying attention to Sharon back there.
Yeah, we are in the midst of our March movie madness, which is officially now one of the only places where you can actually get sports.
That's true. Unless you're into esports, we are your sole source of sports entertainment.
And if you're into esports, then I don't know, we could probably start a Twitch streaming channel or something.
Hey, play NBA 2K20 on the old Xbox, on the old Microsoft.
You should set up a video camera to record the TV while you play NBA 2K.
Oh, I get so mad when because I'm playing. I'm still on my rookie season for my character Che. And I'm about to be the rookie of the year. I'm like in second place running for an MVP. And I'm like first in the league in blocks. Every time I miss a block and like they call a foul, I'm like, what the hell is that? That is a bullshit call. I'm like, wow, you would really think that I was actually on the floor getting called for this. Now I see why esports is such a big deal.
Yeah. Joe chimes in with a little thought on the timing of Spider-Man Far From Home.
We wouldn't have felt Tony's death. We would have already worked through it. What sells it is Tony's death is so right there. All right, so then maybe it should have been 3 months later. Where Endgame sort of got us into the summer blockbuster season, then maybe Far From Home should have been getting us into the fall. So instead of this year,
I think that Joe illustrates my major complaint with the Spider-Man films so far, and that's that they depend way too much on Tony Stark.
Oh shit, I touched my face. Whoops.
Corona,
my Corona. That's all right.
I really wish I had some sort of a burn.
It's all right. I got Lysol in my hand. It's okay. I'm gonna rub it on my face.
All right.
Okay, I'm good. Hey, Sonic, don't judge me for having hygiene, okay?
All right. So
you lick your own balls.
We are 3/5 of the way through our March movie madness. Brian, we just posted Happy Gilmore this week. This week
fun episode.
It really was. It was pretty wild. This week, I'm interested to see how our podcasts go as we get more and more into our cabin fever.
You know what, guys? You really should start binging Plotaholics podcast content. Now that we're all, the world is essentially closed.
It's true. This week we get into the Goon, Goon.
The Goon. I love it.
I was thinking of, all right, I was about to say like Carmen, I'm the Goon.
I'm the Goon. Is he going to be a new Marvel character that's going to be introduced to Black Widow?
Right. And then finally, Brian, big news is the final episode of the month, final episode of March Movie Madness is our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And we will be celebrating in style, Brian. We're doing Rocky that week, but we're also going to do a live broadcast right here on YouTube of that week's Plotaholics podcast episode. It's the first time we've ever done the actual podcast live. So
absolutely
very exciting.
And it's going to be awesome as hell. 2 p.m. live, Saturday, March 28th. And it's going to be awesome because, anytime we've done live shows, it's been to do something like this, or we've done sort of a precursor, like we did the Infinity War pre-show with Joe Compton. That wasn't a typical Plotaholics podcast episode. But here, we are going to be doing the Plotaholics as we do the Plotaholics with the 1976 classic. The classic of one of the most classic sports films of all time, Rocky.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
It's going to be amazing. And that episode, we will complete our first tic-tac-toe.
We think. I still think that we got one in the past somewhere, but I don't remember where.
I don't recall. Well, that I can
actually
recall.
In fact, a listener sent me a message when we had this debate during the Predator episode.
Okay.
And they said that we did have a tic-tac-toe, but they also couldn't remember.
Well, see, now I'm bothered because John Cusack doesn't count as a tic-tac-toe though.
No, we're not counting John Cusack. It was somebody else.
Will Smith.
Right. Yeah.
All right. We'll see. Now I'm starting to look because
it was a deep cut character.
So it wasn't just like someone that I could just go through and be like, oh, that guy.
Katrina in the house is moving that day.
So. Katrina's moving that day. Yeah, you're gonna have to stream it while you're you're gonna have to have YouTube going. You know what you do? You upgrade to the YouTube Premium for like a day, so that way you can for free, and then that way you can be listening to us live as we do so. While if you have to have your phone on, in rest mode or whatever.
Joe chimes in with a little feedback that we should post it into the. Is that from the Super Bowl commercial, Joe? That terrible Facebook group.
Oh yeah,
commercial.
Yeah, Chris Rock talking about who'd you think it was?
That commercial went on for way too long.
Everything about that commercial was just too much. I see that commercial now, and it's like, yeah, this is more than needs to be.
Yeah, every time. Now, Brian, as we were prepping for today, now I'm not ready yet to commit to doing this every week of this national shutdown, but I think it's probably a pretty good chance that we're going to be here weekly for the next little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, we're going to be, our regular everyday schedule's kind of been thrown off, so we have to fill it with something.
That's right. Yeah, and this is, I think, a nice way, as we're seeing here.
Was it Savage? I don't think it was Savage Steve Holland, because he did he was the director of One Crazy Summer, but I don't know if we did anything else that he did.
Also, Joe does confirm that it is from that terrible commercial, the Rocky group. The tic-tac-toe thing is something that is so funny to me, because it's something that we mentioned a long time ago, and now we've gotten tunnel vision on it, so that every time we feel like we're getting close, we have this same debate for about 5 or 10 minutes every time.
We really do. we need to have a super. I mean, I know we have some awesome fans, but we need like one of those insane super fans, like how Howard Stern has his whack pack that can like keep up on these things. We need a historian.
Yeah, we definitely need a historian. But yes, okay. We
will have the official starring role Plotaholics Tic-Tac-Toe for the first time when we do Rocky, because we will have Carl Weathers in the Tic-Tac-Toe.
That's right.
Predator in one calendar year as well, because we'll have Predator, Happy Gilmore, and then Apollo Creed.
Now, I will ask you this. In fact, we're going to have it in almost one calendar month. Almost.
Yes, just about. That is the ultimate tic-tac-toe, man. That's so badass. It could even be a Connect.
Yeah, 4. and it wasn't a Carl Weathers themed month. Like,
no, it wasn't. No, it was not.
I wonder, Brian, if you have given any thought to how this episode of the Plotaholics might be better if it had a Predator in it.
Oh man, you mean Rocky in general, or just this?
No,
episode?
This episode of us.
Well, I think like the instant
the Plotaholics live.
I think every time we start to go on a rant or like just some sort of off the wall, the Predator just comes out of left field.
I watched this indie horror film the other night called Live Scream.
Ooh.
That was pretty good, and I'm probably going to write about it eventually, but it was found footage basically. I love found footage, and but it was a guy live streaming playing a video game, and so it was just the screen the whole time, and his face was like in the top corner, and you could see the chat, and the people in his chat started dying based on what was happening in the game.
Nice.
It was pretty awesome, man. Like, I enjoyed it.
That sounds pretty cool. Is that on Amazon?
Where did we find that? I feel like it is on Amazon. Oh, I think it's on Shudder. I think it's for free.
Oh, what's it called again?
Live Scream. Live Scream.
All right, give me a nanosecond, because I have the Prime Video right here, and I do have a Shudder subscription.
Yeah, it was like an hour 20, something like that. It was a real quick watch, but it was fun.
You want to know what's crazy? I got a Shudder subscription to watch Creepshow, and I have not watched Creepshow.
You still haven't watched Creepshow? I thought you watched some of it.
I've seen like the first episode, maybe the second episode.
Did you see the episode about the finger?
No, not yet.
You got to watch that one. That's the best.
Okay. You know what? Crap. What you said it was called Live Scream?
Yeah.
I'm just going to search it. Whoa, why did it come up and say live sex? That's weird.
Well, that feels
inappropriate.
It does.
Apparently it's not on. Oh, but I can rent it. Well, this is what
maybe that's what happened.
I'm just gonna put it on the watch list. Huh. I wonder how much Xbox came at them for using an Xbox controller in this promo image.
Yeah, it looks like an old school sort of like Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah, that's like one of the original Xbox 360 controllers.
Let me see if I can get this pulled up really fast so we can share it with the people at home. Just the image.
I definitely want to check that out. So it's like if I'm playing like NBA 2K and people are watching and then I dunk on someone, that means like a fixture is just going to fall out of their ceiling and crush their skull.
Yeah, this is the here's your cover.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember the old, like the original Xbox controllers that had the little bumper buttons on the bottom right?
What was that one? Well, I'm sorry.
The old Xbox controllers were like the bumpers were on the corner.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, it's Corey Feldman. Just listen to the Goonies. So we did Goonies, we did Lost Boys. What other Corey Feldman movie did we have? We had Goonies, we had Lost Boys. So what was the third?
No, you got me.
Corey Feldman movie, Joe Compton.
Yeah, Joe, the historian.
Historian comp.
I mean, they we've done a lot of episodes, man. You know that?
We have done a lot of
episodes. Happy Gilmore is number 40. We, at first we just did every other week. And so we haven't done our 52 this year, but we are at 40 currently. So 42, I think, is going to be the 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we did Goonies and we did Lost Boys. So what's the other? Now I'm not on the actual window yet. I'm actually at Buzzsprout looking at what we got. This is why I need double monitors.
Yeah, right. I know. I'm now.
No, it wouldn't have been Corey Feldman because we only did 2 Corey Feldman films. Corey Feldman isn't in any of these movies.
I am now on Corey Feldman's IMDb.
Unless Corey Feldman ended up being in like Boys in the Hood and I missed it.
I mean,
Corey Feldman was an extra in Boys in the
Hood. I'm on the IMDb now, and I am not seeing it unless he was in.
Was he in Independence Day?
He wasn't in. No, he wasn't there.
No Corey Feldman. We only have 2 Corey Feldman movies, Joe Compton.
Yep. That I see anyway. So regardless, again, I feel like I'm always the one that tries to wrangle this conversation down.
Yeah. All right. So where were we going before we got into this?
Like this, just the idea of a tic-tac-toe is such an arbitrary distinction.
It really is. It really is.
Like, why would we be excited just because we did 3 movies with one guy in it? We've done that twice on purpose.
Yeah, I know, right? But it's just fun. It's fun to have especially these milestones.
Especially when they're background characters. I think it's fun.
He says during the 80s comedy run. I know that because I heard it while driving the Slam Dance. All right, but I mean,
I feel like we had. I think he's right. I think that it was in one of those movies where we were like, "This is it. This is the tic-tac-toe."
All right, hold on, because like I said, we had Goonies, we had Lost Boys, but you see, Corey Feldman's not in Breakfast Club. He's not in Ghostbusters. He's not in Top Gun.
So, no, I don't think it's Corey Feldman, but I think that I think that one of those movies was our third one.
Okay.
I think I know who it is. Give me a minute.
Okay. See, I think we're finally going to get to the bottom of this. You know what? I'm excited. I'm very excited because I need closure on this.
It's not
it's not a major person.
No, it's not. I think I know who it is. I'm just double checking real fast here.
All right, guys. Are you excited, guys? Because I know I am freaking pumped. Yeah. Woo!
Oh, we just need one more. Just one more.
You sound like a big choo-choo train.
I don't see. Okay, I'll just ask you if you think that this is the guy, because I think it might be.
There's no turkeys up here, man. Sorry, man. There's no turkeys up here.
Hi, man.
Okay.
Come on, man. For a minute, I thought it was Paul Gleason.
No, I don't think it'd be.
But
Paul
I don't
Gleason.
think so. We're only at 2 on Paul Gleason.
Yeah, because we had Breakfast Club and no, I don't remember what else. No, I do not believe. I don't believe we have one. I mean, we almost have one on Dan Aykroyd too, but we just missed that. Because Dan.
I think I know.
That excitement sounded weirdly inappropriate. Okay, who is it?
Is it now? I'm not. I don't know for sure yet, but I think that this might be it.
Okay.
Just got to make sure. Just got to make sure.
Every time this comes up, this happens. Oh man. All 2 of our listeners are getting ready to start checking now.
I know. I mean, like they've been dropping pretty consistency. My guess was William Atherton, but I don't think that's him either.
No, because we've only got him in 2 movies, Die Hard and
Ghostbusters.
So we only have him for 2. No, we're still sitting on it. We're still there.
Carl Weathers can have that until we come up with it. Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. What a roller coaster.
I'm serious.
I also asked you, Brian, to give me a list of games and or TV shows that you're watching or playing to get through this quarantine, and you sent me for video games the following list, which is a pretty good one.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. Yeah, I'm playing NBA 2K20 right now. That's been my main go-to. I am currently playing a rim protecting center on the Chicago Bulls. And we are actually going into we're in our last week of the NBA season.
Man,
I just beat Anthony Davis's Los Angeles Lakers and I actually swatted one of his inside jumpers out of here.
I like NBA games, but those seasons take so long.
They really do.
Look, I've got NBA Live 2015, and I'm still playing the first season on it.
Wow.
I don't play it consistently. It's my second season. I lost in the playoffs of the first season. But yeah, like I'm still in the second season doing much better, by the way. But it just takes so long I play my first game on my list is Madden, because those games go so much faster.
They really do. I'm playing Madden, but Madden's like my 4th game.
Yeah.
But I am playing Madden 20 as well because, see, I don't buy Madden, though. I wait for it to be released in the EA Access Vault, and then I'll download it from there, and then I'll play it for a year and get rid of it for the next one.
Yeah. But I buy every other Madden because it for a while I bought it every year when I was younger, but then it seemed like it made its biggest leaps every other year. Like
right. Well, I'm pretty sure the EA is going to have to really put a lot more work into this.
I think so.
Because for those that didn't hear, 2K has signed an agreement with the NFL to make a non-simulation football game, which means it's not going to be your traditional 11-on-11 game. However, EA's exclusivity license ends next year.
So then
2K can make one. So hopefully we can actually get back to our simulation wars, because I'm sorry, NBA 2K5 was the best simulation football game ever created. It had everything.
Yeah.
And I was on the PS2. But anyway, my second game is The Outer Worlds. And if you are a big fan of Firefly, Mass Effect, and Obsidian games, this is the game for you. It's an awesome RPG. Takes place in the very distant future. You are awakened by mad scientists. You were put in cryostasis with your community, and you're supposed to be freeing your community from an evil corporation that's trying to keep you guys frozen. It's a pretty fun game. Some cool characters, and it's just a great it's a fun game. My OCD brain needs closure. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you're right about that. I'm telling you, this thing, every time it comes up, it
drives us nuts.
I do get excited about it at first, but then I'm like, okay, so we don't know. Let's move on. But Brian's like, well, let's figure it out.
Yeah, I know. But then you indulge me so easily because you want to know as badly as I do.
I know, but I recognize that it's a waste of time before you do, I think. And that's what frustrates me even more.
Well, you're a teacher, so you're good at time management. So
yeah, clearly.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and then you're still working through the Resident Evil 2 remake, right?
Well, I'm on my third playthrough. Actually, I finished the game on Leon's scenario, the first one, and then so that was scenario A, and the scenario B was Claire. Now I'm playing as Claire for scenario A, and then I'll go to Leon for scenario B. And then I'm gonna play the mini games that are in there as well. But this game, it's so much fun. This is my third playthrough, and I'm still having a great time with it. It still freaks me out when the zombies jump out of nowhere. Yeah. Everything about this game is so amazing, and I'm very excited for Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, that was a fun game. I remember playing that a while, forever ago, obviously. I have not played the remake, but it has such high replay value,
It does. And I'll tell you something. I still actually own the original Resident Evil 2. Mm-hmm. I just don't have a PlayStation.
Right.
But I love the original. The original is so great. And this game it's amazing because it is it's not even, I wouldn't even call it like a remake. It's the same game, but they change it around so much that it makes it brand new. So even if you remember the old game, they just make it better. So if you haven't gotten Resident Evil 2, you really need to. And I'm hoping to finish these playthroughs in time to play Resident Evil 3.
There you go. Yeah. So my other two games that I'm using to get through the isolation and social distancing is Monster Hunter World. They just released a massive DLC, Iceborne, a few weeks ago, so I'm playing through that. And man, I still ride hard with Minecraft.
My son is crazy for Minecraft. He loves Minecraft.
I love Minecraft right now, and Minecraft has crazy long playability as well, right? So I like to play it on the survival mode, but I also like to just build models on there. Okay. It's like virtual Legos, right? So it's like playing Legos without the mess. They're just all the same shape.
Nothing for you to step on and like kill.
Yeah. So right now I'm in the middle of building what I call TV Town, which is like all of the notable buildings from TV shows. So
oh wow.
Yeah. So at the center of it is Dunder Mifflin, the big office building.
Yeah, and some screenshots of this.
Yeah, it's cool so far, man. And like I'm working on the road right now that's gonna have like all of the like restaurants and bars. So like Central Perk and Patty's from Always Sunny and Cheers and all of those places. Yeah.
Nice.
And then up in the hills, I have the Hollywood sign from BoJack. And yeah, man, it's awesome. So
cool. See, I just don't have the patience to build like that. I wish.
Yeah, I love it. There's just something about just unplugging and just laying blocks, And also, I don't start with flat terrain either. Like, so I have to go in there and like level all of these mountains and everything to put parking lots. Michelle's like, "Are you building parking lots again?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm building parking lots."
Jay Wilson's a stone cutter.
I'm telling you. But have you played Monster Hunter World?
No, I was getting ready to ask you: Is this a Xbox game? Is this an Xbox One?
Yeah, it is, and it is madly fun.
Okay.
So you have different weapons, you do the level up on the armor and all of that stuff, but so many different kinds of monsters that you can hunt and kill and craft armor and stuff out of. It's pretty awesome.
Nice. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to the Xbox app right now if it'll ever load up.
It's excellent. And Iceborne is the kind of DLC that is like a whole new game. It's that extensive. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Monster Hunter World. Ooh, it's included with Game Pass.
Nice. Yeah, you got to get on that. You got to.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And we got to get on there and play together and slay some monsters.
Sweet.
I will make your journey so much easier.
All right. Yep. I'm installing it with the wow. And it's on sale right now. If you have games with gold, it's on sale right now, half off, $14.99.
Nice. Excellent. Now make sure you got the Monster Hunter World Iceborne like combo pack and not just the Iceborne thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Here, let me see what I can
make
do.
sure that pack or whatever it is that you're downloading combines, has both of them. But yeah, it should definitely be on Game Pass.
Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm going to the Game Pass now, and I'm gonna tell it to install. And then I see the Iceborne. Ooh, and Iceborne is free.
Nice.
Well, that's what it says on here. Monster Hunter Iceborne Hype Pack. Great. Yeah. Okay. All right. If these add-ons are free, hell to the yizzy.
You're gonna enjoy the shit out of that. I promise.
Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's a beautiful game. Like it, just the world and the graphics and everything. Beautiful. Very playable. Very, very fun game.
Cool. Oh, wow. It's telling me that I don't have enough. So basically, I'm going to have to do some finagling when I get off. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. All right. Now, I also asked you about your TV show viewing, and you're basically hanging out in the Arrowverse right now, huh?
Yeah, Sharon and I. Well, here's the thing. Sharon got into Arrow at first because we happened to watch it one day months ago.
Yeah.
And then she wanted to get back into it about a month back. So we've been watching Arrow, and then I told her, I said, well, listen, this is, Flash season 1 happens around the same time as season 3 of Arrow. So we would go back and forth between Arrow and Flash. Sometimes we do a couple more episodes and then we catch up. And now we're at the point where now Legends of Tomorrow is coming in.
Uh-huh.
So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to do, Flash, Arrow, and Legends.
Is there a place somewhere where the chronological or like how to watch all of the Arrowverse shows so that they all feed together the right way? Is there somewhere to see that?
I'm sure there is. I'm going by what I remember when I was very stringent on watching Arrow and Flash and Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think once they decided that Supergirl was a part of the Arrowverse, like when it moved from CBS to CW, right. I think that's when I started to kind of fall off a little bit. And then when Black Lightning came out, they said Black Lightning was definitely not a part of the Arrowverse. Well, now Black Lightning is a part of the Arrowverse.
Yeah, I don't know why you would start anything DC on CW at this point and not tie it in.
Right. Exactly. So I guess I'm sure there is a way to do it. You just have to Google it.
Yeah.
But this is kind of how we're doing it right now. And we're just going to go from there.
Yeah.
Joe Compton chiming in. Loved seasons 1 and 2 of Legends. Kind of jumps the shark after that. You're not wrong. But I think for me, when I started getting frustrated with Legends of Tomorrow was, well, I can't say it's a spoiler because Shannon is watching, but you'll know what I mean when, certain things happen that I didn't like. But I mean, they're fun. I love a lot of the character development that they have. And it was really fun for me when seeing John Constantine come on screen again, because then Sharon's like, well, who the hell is that? And I said, that's John Constantine. She was like, I thought that was Keanu Reeves. I'm like, no. Keanu Reeves' Constantine is not the John Constantine. As great as Constantine was as a film, Keanu's Constantine is not the John Constantine. So I explained who he was. So now we're going to have to find the Constantine shows hidden somewhere in Hulu so we can watch that so he can make sense.
Gotcha.
But I mean, they're fun. So that's what we're kind of doing for TV shows right now. That the Arrowverse has completely taken over everything. When it comes to regular TV, now Supernatural's on Monday. So I can watch Supernatural on Monday, and then it's just all Arrowverse all the time.
Yeah. Well, we over here have gotten, I've got 2 new shows that we watch weekly, and then 2 that I just binge all the time. Okay. I bet you can guess what one of the all the time binge shows is.
Oh, I know one of them's The Office.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've been spending,
you watch.
It really is. So over here in Apartamento de Shane, we've been spending time with the Jersey Shore guys on family vacation. But also the new Lego Masters hosted by Will Arnett on Wednesday nights is excellent.
Okay.
Have you heard of this show?
No, I haven't.
So it's a competition show where teams of two are tasked with building these super elaborate Lego builds.
Nice.
And so like last week, for example, they had to build bridges, and the team whose bridge held the most weight got to win.
Nice.
And 2 different bridges held over 1,000 pounds. It was wild.
That is awesome. So basically, if this starts to work, who needs like concrete, brick, and mortar? We can just make things out of Legos.
Yeah, Joe, it will have a JJ's for sure. The JJ's Diner will be there. I know Joe is a big Parks and Rec guy. So
what about Bob's Burgers?
Oh, Bob's is going to totally be. Bob's is going to be there.
That sounds really cool. That's very.
Yeah, you got to watch now. The first 4 or 5 episodes of Lego Masters are on. It's on Hulu.
Oh, cool.
All right. So it comes on. I think Fox on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
But the first 4 or 5 episodes are on Hulu. You should totally watch it. It's very good.
Yeah, I'll have to
check
that out. Yeah.
Jersey Shore Family Vacation. I'm just a fan of trashy TV sometimes, It's just fun
This is definitely the show for you if you like trash.
It's just fun to watch those guys. And I am rewatching The Office as always and rewatching Workaholics again, which I love Workaholics. And it's one of those shows that every time I'm not watching it, I'm like, I think that show was fine. But then every time I start watching it again, I'm like, this show is hilarious.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. The only reason why I haven't gotten back to watching The Office on Netflix is because Sharon has commandeered everything for the Arrowverse, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But once we get the Peacock, I'll definitely be all over The Office, man.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, that is
how many times did Will Arnett say I'm the Batman?
So in one episode, I think it's episode 2, they had to build these they were like, you have to build these really immaculate builds and then we're going to destroy them in really crazy ways, right?
Nice.
So like one of them was like you blew it up with fireworks, one of them was you dropped it from the top of a balcony, and one of them was you hit it with a baseball bat. And so Will Arnett was the guy hitting them with baseball bats. He goes, I'm the Batman.
Will Arnett is an unsung national treasure.
He really is. And the fact that he was never given any sort of critical acclaim for critical acclaim, yes, but he was never nominated for awards for his work on BoJack Horseman is a crime.
It truly, I think, and these are the old traditional TV guys that are anti-streaming services.
Yeah.
It's going to take another, 10 years before, those guys are all out on their asses.
For sure. I guess it all depends on how coronavirus goes.
It's a good point by you.
Anyway, that's gonna just about do it for the Plotaholics Live.
That was an out of left field just jab.
I'm good for a haymaker every now and then. I do deserve it. This episode of the Plotaholics brought to you by Lysol. You got a little on your lens there, bud.
Oh, no. There we go. Hey, keeping it clean, baby.
And just a reminder, everybody, Joe's Bar is open this Friday night over on the Go Indie Now channel. So be sure that you go check that out. That's another great way to
get yourself through all this.
Yeah, to get yourself through it, find a little connection out there in virtual cyberland. And Joe always puts on a good show over there with some of our writer friends and other artist friends. And is that a little Baby Yoda you got there?
Yep, this Baby Yoda was crocheted by me by the great Jason Lavelle's wife, Heather.
Nice, very good. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Heather and Jason.
Yep, absolutely. Plus, Joe's Bar, you never know, man. Sometimes you'll go there and I'll be getting drunk off of a baby bottle.
That is a very good point. One of the first times that you and I ever hung out on the internet, that was happening.
Yes, it was. And strangely enough, you still wanted to well, that was the second time. The first time I was acting normal on Writers Imperfect.
Yeah.
And then after that, you were already hung in. I didn't have to court you.
We should start a new show, but we'll play characters, right? I'll be Josh and you'll be Robert.
Okay.
And we'll call it Writer on Perfect.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little while. We may or may not be back next week.
And even if we're not, it's okay because we will be live March 28th.
Yeah, that's right. So put it on your calendar, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Should have broke your thumbs.
We're the Plotaholics, a breakfast club of two. We're the Plotaholics, ripping plots apart for you.